How you doing, folks? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're actually in Birr Castle in County Offaly, and I have a question for you. So what does a Gothic style castle and the European Space Agency have in common? Now, if you watch the video till the end, I will show you and I will also explain to you what they have in common. Okay, folks, so that's Birr Castle there in front of us. Now you can't actually visit the castle itself as it's still a residence, but the castle was built in 1620, and during the wars between the Williamites and the Jacobites, siege was laid to the castle in around, I think it was either 1640 or 1670, I'm not 100% sure, by Catholic forces. And eventually the castle was rebuilt, I think in 1670, 1677. And but it later on in the early 19th century, the earl that was the earl that would be or lived in the castle then, he decided to basically to renovate the castle. So the castle was actually, the height of the castle was actually higher. And then if you see a lot of the Gothic architecture that's on the front of the castle, that was added, so that gives it that Gothic look, which was in fashion in the very early 19th century. So he was copying basically what was in fashion at the time. So you can see here, folks, we have the Victorian suspension bridge, and it's believed to be one of the oldest in Ireland. Fortunately we can't cross it. I think it's solely used by the family, but it's still nice to see that it's still here and still there for its intended use. Now there is a similar suspension bridge up at Kinnity Castle, so the next time I'm up there I'll take some footage, or maybe we'll do a video on the castle too. And there's just a closer view of the side of the castle there, folks. And you can see there's some beautiful Gothic style windows there, absolutely fantastic. or you can hold the camera. Okay folks, so this is the Great Telescope, and this was built in 1845 by the third Earl of Ross, and for over 70 years this was the largest telescope in the world. And one amazing thing about this telescope is, if you've ever seen footage of, they call it the Great Spiral Galaxy or the Whirlpool Galaxy, this was the first telescope to make that discovery. So we'll take a quick walk around and we'll show you the scale of the telescope. So as you can see, it's of timber construction, and like the walls that were constructed are absolutely massive. They're at least 30 or 40 feet high, and as you can see, they're quite thick. And the platform you see at the top was actually, the Earl of Ross would actually climb all the way to the top, and that's how you could view the images that the telescope was seeing. So you had to go right to the top of the walls there. So, and if you actually take a walk around the sides here, and you see those Gothic style arches, you can just see them there through the trees and stuff. You can see them there. So okay, and if we turn around, we have the castle there right behind us. So he kept the construction of the telescope in keeping with the architecture of the castle, so it blends in nicely into the landscape. So he was quite forward thinking in his construction ideas. And then if you actually come around just to this side, it's an absolutely massive structure, and obviously a phenomenal undertaking back in the day. You can see here there is some modern equipment here with winches, and I know, was it 20 or 30 years ago, there was some restoration work carried out on the Great Telescope, so there were new winches added above there, and you can see the massive counterweights. So it's obviously an extremely heavy object to raise up. Okay, so we'll move on. Now folks, this is an exhibition just on the workings of the structure of the Great Telescope, which I showed you there a couple of moments ago. So we have a model here of how the telescope actually works out. Up and then down. You see the counterweights I showed you earlier on, and then it could actually be moved left and right, the telescope. Okay, and then we have basically just a mock-up of the telescope. And I don't know if you can see it through the viewfinder. You can see the spiral galaxy that was originally observed with the original telescope. So it's a nice little exhibition to see how it actually worked. No idea what's going on there, folks, with the water spout. That's absolutely amazing. And then the bridge that we have here in front is called the Stone Bridge, or originally called the Ivy Bridge, and this was constructed in 1820. So it's been here a long time. So we'll have it. Actually, I'll walk for your sake through the wet grass, and I'll get a view of the arches. Nice to see. It's a nice day. Nice to sit here and watch the water go by, watch the world go by. Amazing to see 1820 and it's still here and still in its original condition. Okay folks, so I did say at the start of the video, what does the Gothic style castle and the European Space Agency have in common? And this is it. This is the low-fire array here in Birr, and the low-fire is part of a larger European network, and it's a low-band radio telescope. And as I say, it's part of a much larger array that is in the Netherlands, the UK, France, Germany, Sweden, Poland, Latvia and Italy. And part of that array is their job is to try and detect any should we say alien communications or transmissions in deep space. So we'll take a quick look. We can just see in front of us here, folks, I'm just gonna climb up here. Probably shouldn't, but we will. So you can actually see the array out there in the field in front, so you're not allowed in there. So that's one part of the array, and then you see they look like sticks sticking up around. That's another part of the array. So I think the ones just here in the foreground are like flat panels, and they're picking up transmissions from space. So an interesting place. So still in the 21st century, the castle is still providing suppose science and technology to the world as it did in 1845 with the Great Telescope, which is fantastic to see. So I think we'll end our video here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and don't forget to comment if you've ever been here. If you work in astronomy or you have an interest in astronomy, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video.